All right, so obviously I start these things off easy, right? Where did the idea of coming to be on Extracted come from?
I got an email one day saying they were looking for people. We're long distance hikers. And I thought, well, for lack of a better way to say this, shits and giggles, I would fill it out and not tell my daughter and husband because who's going to pick us? We're not that interesting. So, like 3 days later, I get an email saying, we want to talk to you. We're like, oh, okay. Anyways, it goes from there. So it was kind of years ago, we put in VHS tapes for The Amazing Race back when my kids were little. So I'm kind of an adrenaline adventure kind of junkie person. And I thought, ah, this will be fun. Yeah. So I drug them on with me.
Right, exactly. So what's the process like of the idea of like picking obviously Faith and picking obviously your husband? Were there any other people that came to mind, or was it going to be those two?
At first I thought my husband and Faith, and then I wasn't sure if her schedule was going to fit with it. So I asked my baby sister. Her schedule wasn't going to fit. So we kind of made it fit for Faith because she had a graduation that was coming up. And so we were trying to like get it going as fast as we could. So, but their logistics and their strategic game is so strong because by nature they're gamers. My husband designs games. And so it just kind of was a natural pick. I knew I'd have good people, smart back in the headquarters, and I knew I could live under a rock for as long as I had to.
What's the preparation process like? You know what I mean? Like you kind of get an idea of what you're heading into in some aspects, but what's the preparation process like for you as you're leading up to heading into the game? Did you practice some things? Did you maybe go days without eating? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I think for me, I know maybe other people did it differently, but I started to think, okay, what are they going to throw at us? What do we got to do? I can hike, I can carry 50 pounds on my back, but can I build a fire? Can I, hunt? Can I do things that they hadn't told us we were going to do? But the thought process was there. So I went and I took some archery lessons. I went out to Mount Charleston on the only day that it ever rains in Las Vegas and tried to build fire. And I did get the smoke, but it was too wet. So yeah, I think there was the prep time. I gained about 5 to 6 pounds extra, just because I'm so tiny. Because I know through hiking, I'm like hungry all the time. That's my Achilles heel. If I don't eat, I get real grumpy. So yeah,
Well, yeah, I'll be honest with you. We didn't see the hangry side of you on the show, though. You know what I mean? You say you get. I mean, we all get hangry, right? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But talk to me about those first few days, right? What was it like adapting to this kind of new environment?
I think the excitement is like, oh my God, I'm really doing this. You get to your camp and you're looking around. And for me, I had what I turned into a hobbit's cave. Because I'm 5'2", and so I spent the first few days just gathering everything I could to build up walls on the side, looking for berries because we had no food, and just kind of exploring. I even had a bowling alley, which no one gets to see. There was a bridge right by my area, so I would take the rocks and I would bowl and wish for my survivalists to join me on Tuesday nights for bowling, but it never happened. So. Yeah,
Uh,
I was having fun. I'm more of a forest fairy, so it was like a dream come true to go out there, build my smoker and all that.
that's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. I love hearing that element because it's like obviously we're seeing you guys are going through it, right? Without the food, without the necessary tools, but
right.
having fun at the same time. That's really awesome that you hear. Because I even read, I think I read somewhere today that you were the oldest contestant as well, which was awesome. I did not know that. But one of the interesting things that we obviously unpack at headquarters when we're watching it back is the relationship between Lance and Faith. I as a father of a
Yeah.
16 a soon to be 16-year-old as of tomorrow, I understand the dynamic of struggle between a father and daughter. So it seemed like there's some work that needed to be happening, but what was it like to find out that transformation unfold in headquarters and then maybe even watching that back now?
I have to say it's painful to watch some of that. I know it wasn't. an everyday, all day occurrence. So that helps knowing that, just because I know how my days were and like everything's so condensed. Um, but you're locked in close quarters. So I can only imagine, the claustrophobia. Then you've got the, oh my God, my wife, my mom is out there, and we had some scares with bears. We had, elements that the weather that was coming in was so bad. So that mounts with the trying to work with work with that person. But I know as the game went on, they were able to, put that aside or move forward, which is what they do at home. They clash and then they come back together. Family is really important to us. And so for me, as you watch the show as well, you see that I'm thriving, not just because my mental space is good, but because they've made alliances. They've strategically made plays that have gotten me not one, not two, but I had three fuel cans. On top of the fact that I had built a smoker and could have fire. So what you see is, a little bit of that instead of how much work they actually were doing together, which if you watch and you see what I have, you know that my team is working pretty hard and well together back at HQ.
And my follow up to that is this: is obviously we see that there was going to be a potato. You know what I mean? The old potato was going to come into play here. Did you do you think that maybe that would have helped, or do you think that it would have been a temporary band-aid for you?
No, I think it would have helped. My mental space was pretty good, other than, like, I think we all as survivalists agree, the biggest thing that we thought was hurting us was the alone, the 24/7 being alone. You can't share anything with anybody. Like you're literally cheering for yourself, maybe getting letters, which I got quite a few of them, except obviously one got burned. And so you're also though have the elements of the mountain gods telling you whether the challenge is from weakest to strongest or strong, and you're thinking, am I embarrassing my family? Am I not playing this game right? Um, the potato. I'm gonna give you some BTS because no one knows this except for the ones that I've told. When we had the raft challenge, and this is really important to understand, um, I was the only survivalist that did not have logs available. I had to cut mine down. So I cut all of my trees down and built my raft and swam across there. So a potato, that would have been golden. I would have had mashed potatoes. I would have had boiled potatoes. I would have made that potato last. So yeah, potato, it would have been my best friend out there
I
for my
love, I love,
stomach.
I love that. Take me behind what's going through your head when you hear you're extracted.
I'm gonna be honest because I don't know what we'll see for sure. It- when they first told me, I will say I ignored it and I sat there for a moment to digest it. And I turned and I said, I don't think I heard you. You're gonna have to repeat that. I think the shock of it, you're out there for so many days. You're fighting to do good in this game, to make those challenge count, to get your loved ones things to you. Um, I think I was just numb, because this was a dream I had had. I know I could have made it much further. Could I have won? Look, we all think we can win, right? That's the point of this game. Um, but I think just numb because I was like, it's over. I don't have control of my game. That's the hardest part. And I know there's another survivalist that probably agrees with me. There was no control over this, no matter how good you're doing. So we were all playing, you've got your game out there. and they've got their game there, and there's lack of communication. I guess I should say, and yeah, shocked.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite aspects of the game because not obviously not for you for as a viewer, you know what I mean? One of my favorite aspects is like you're out there surviving, but you really don't have control of that. And I think that's what makes this game stand out and be unique from some of the other reality TV shows we've seen in the past. You know, you have control of
Definitely.
certain elements of it, you know what I mean? But there's so much of it you can't control. But my final question to you is what is something that Robin learned about herself through her time on Extracted?
That I'm capable of doing anything. And anyone at my age is capable of doing anything and everything. Don't stop doing things because you think you're too old. Don't not fill out that application. If you want to go and do crazy stuff like this, you only live one time. Go and do it because you only get it one chance to do all this cool stuff. So I learned that you should chase your dreams. Don't make them just dreams, make them reality on a reality TV show.
That's a perfect ending, right? Robin, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for the insight. I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.